Primarily video games, live action animation, a handful of anime roles here and there, but typically, hi Amari, hi Dadu, good to see you. Thank you. I like my name as well. Um, but I am spread everywhere in terms of genre. So you'll see me in video games and hear me in audio dramas and corporate narrations. If you work in a company, and you'll hear me on YouTube. I'm everywhere. It's awesome. I have no discrepancies or discriminations about where the work comes from. I need to pay my bills. So there you go. Harusama, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Um, but primarily, there we go. See, there's a screenshot. I love it. Thank you very much. That's me right now. I'm the human skin and voice you're hearing is just the IRL VTuber that I'm using right now. But good to have you. Um, but majorly, I voice Jaeyun from Brawlhalla. In the game, if you're a Brawlhalla game, you know that there's no VO in the actual game. But when they announce these characters, they hire voice actors for the trailers, and I was brought on to voice that character. And if you play through the Inazuma stories on Genshin Impact, you heard me as the as Kujo-sara's dad, Kujou Takayuki, who ends up getting stripped of his titles and was sent to jail. We're waiting for the comeback, right? The uprising of the Vision Hunt decree is coming back. Hopefully so. I don't know, but I'm certainly that character. And I'm other dads around Inazuma mostly. My latest appearance was when Sumeru was first opened, and in the flashback there was this merchant who had to get to the port because hello, there's stuff sitting on the port, and I can't move it if you don't let me go. Da 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 da. So I was there. And you'll hear me a lot in English dubs of things, whether that be anime or K drama or Netflix, Apple TV, Hulu. I recently had my very first on camera role on the show called Reasonable Doubt. That's playing on Hulu right now. And if you go to episode 3, there's this maintenance man who speaks Korean who lets in the one of the main characters to look around in the dead space. No spoilers, but like that was a lot of fun. Got to have my own little trailer, which was awesome. Um, so yeah, good times. I'm in Los Angeles, happily married, 2 boys and a dog, and just living my life here with the home studio, working and making content and marketing as I do, and traveling to LA to record for in studio gigs. So that's kind of my paraphrased bio. I started voice acting in 2016 without any kind of connection into the industry at all. But I've been acting ever since freshman year of high school, which was 1996. Oh, my back. Um, hands up, who was not here before 1996? Just curious. That's the year I was born. Very good, thank you. So, as one of the boomers in the chat, everywhere I go, as one of the boomers in the chat, hello, get off my lawn, please. You kids don't know how good you have it nowadays. It's always fun. Boomer alert, thank you. And if you show up to my streams, these dad jokes are intentionally vicious just so that I can inflict emotional damage upon the kids that show up. Humor. Exactly. But yeah, but purposefully, like I've come to rediscover my passion and happiness in life in 2016, which is why I jumped over from education to get off my damn property. But before working as a voice act, before starting my journey in VO, I worked as a high school theater teacher for 11 years. I went to, it's a long story, but going to college as a theater major because I loved it. But like junior year, it literally 3.5 years into my BA. The immigrant, I was born and raised in Korea, so and I came here when I was 14. The immigrant side of me, inside of me, is this force of nature that can't be controlled, who really wanted that stable life. You know what I mean? You talk to your parents, and if you're an immigrant yourself, you'll experience this. Who wanted this stable life of a stability and a job and this whole thing, and that premise and that desire eventually won out. So instead of pushing forward as an actor and dreaming about like getting on stage and Broadway and on camera and voiceover or whatever, I switched careers to become a teacher so that I can have best of both worlds. Still have my foot in acting, but have a stable job as a teacher and a director and this and that. And for 11 years, I taught high school theater, directed shows, did improv, concerts and productions and all these things. And in 2016, I got let go. So as I laid down in my bed, which was completely not stable, right? Thinking about what do I want to do next in my American dream stable home in the suburbs. Like I decided it was time for happiness. It's time to pursue what I really wanted to do. And I had come to learn that I despise memorizing lines. Oh my gosh, I just hate it so much. In voiceover, you don't have to memorize these lines, you know. So, and other things were in the categories of determination, and I jumped into it and did a ton of research, took a ton of classes with many different people, started marketing, content creation, and networking, and all these things, and 6 years later, lo and behold, like it was November of 2016 or so. So really, we're at 6 months and 6 years and a month going on, and I'm fortunate and I'm very blessed, and I am like very very grateful to be where I am in terms of socially, professionally, and the people that I know. Phoebe here included, because Phoebe and I go a long ways back, like way way back when we used to make fan dubs. Oh my gosh. Good times, good times. Right, the memorizing lines is like torture. I agree, and I made all of my students do it for 11 years straight, and I'm gonna go around and apologize to them when I have some time. Oh gosh. Anyway, why don't we go ahead and get started? If we haven't started the YouTube stream already, Phoebe, I apologize. Looks like there's a number of folks here and stuff like that. So, the first question has come in. Thank you, Jonathan. Good to have you. Reaching out to game companies and stuff. Do you generally start on LinkedIn or direct mails, having 0 responses? Okay. When it comes to marketing, I really, really believe in the avenues and methods and strategies of marketing that's effective and proficient at getting some ROI under your belt back again for the time and energy that you're spending. The strategy and the method has to be something that you enjoy personally. And there are people out there who enjoy, like intrinsically enjoy, I don't understand, but they enjoy cold emails and cold calling and stuff like that, direct messages. I don't enjoy it. I don't. I've tried, so I know. And I hate it. and that energy kind of carries through in those messages. And same, I've tried it before and it hasn't worked. So I don't do a lot of marketing my services directly, whether that be DMs or emails. I don't. But I am very, very prolific when it comes to social media, as if you hadn't noticed by now. And I'm about making content. I literally just posted a voice actor duet challenge 10 minutes before I came here. Making content. It's fun for me. It's fun for me, and it provides value to the people who are watching and consuming in some way. and they're listening to my voice, and they're listening to me in my authentic happiness. And should they be casting at that moment for somebody like me, or a character that my voice could be a fit for, my personality could be a fit for, then it's gonna populate their consciousness, and all they have to do is click a couple of links to arrive at my website to listen to my demo, check out my resume, so on and so forth, and make a decision on whether they want to send me an audition or not. So I'm not sitting here pulling out my hair like, under 10 emails I have to write today. Yeah. I'm doing it on my own volition and energy and frequency and consistency. And the word has clearly reached many ears so far. And I continue to, and I plan to continue to increase and even make it even higher quality as I go because of all the things I learned and stuff like that. I hope that answers your question. Make content. I snort a lot, Hikaru. Yes, indeed. It's something I picked up from somebody a long, long time ago. And when something's really funny, I snort. Do I have tips for memorizing lines? I'm a freshman, just started acting. Huzzah, Mari. Good for you. Congratulations. Acting is a lot of fun, and as long as you enjoy it, right? And one way to memorize lines, number one, repetition. Repetition. You know the songs that you know, the lyrics too, because you kept listening to it over and over and over. You know what I mean? So mechanically, repeat. But another, like, in combination with repetition, is to put the lines into context. Like, if you're memorizing a monologue, let's say, right? The other person that you're speaking to is not just gonna stand there like a statue, right? That person is gonna move and respond or whatever, right? So make some decisions about, like, I'm talking to this person in this one scene, and that person's gonna shift their position, or they're gonna pick their nose, or yawn, or turn away from me, or whatever. Put these things and choices into the script and respond back to them. And if you think of those moments as beats, it certainly makes the script a lot more digestible, and be able to analyze it by sections and break it down by beats. And if you digest and process by small sections, then you can transition from one moment to the next. You know what I mean? Try that. Can you tell us some dad jokes? Yeah. Can I? Of course. I was hoping somebody would say it. Um, I have a collection. I like this mummy in Egypt was recently discovered when they opened up the casket. This mummy was covered in chocolate and nuts, and it was amazing, right? Never seen anything like it before, and never seen anything like it before. Archaeologists believe it may be Pharaoh Roche. All right, moving on. Thank you. I hope that's emotional damage enough. Here we go. Relationship, location, conflict. How did I come up with those key to improv? Those were the key components and the core ideas of improv that were taught to me by my improv teachers and workshops that I've attended and curriculum that I went through. And I'm simply relaying the message from the reframing from my perspective and my experience. But relationship, location, conflict is the basis of all storytelling. It's true across all mediums, all time, throughout history, and for the future to come. All stories that we love to tell are based on those three things. And as it turns, and it's no coincidence that Commedia dell'arte, where we credit improvisation to come from in theater history, utilize those same things in storytelling, in combination with archetypes, obviously. But that it's a long-standing traditional concept and curriculum about acting, and I'm not the first. I didn't come up with these, I promise. And everybody else who I've taught will move on to say the same words to other folks who want that information. It's not me. It's pre-existing, tried and true, standardized information that exists. Misery JPEG. Same. It's true. Yeah, here we go. Dad jokes all around. That duet challenge looks like so much fun. It's even more fun when you do it. Do it. I do it. Recommend whiskey to June not too long ago on Twitter. Employ your command bots in the Discord. There you go. Yep. Whiskeys are good. So good. I'm here because I have to be. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, fan dubs with Phoebe. This was it was for Sweetness and Lightning. There was a season of anime that came out not too long after, or was it after, I think. I came across the manga. It was a manga dub, well, not an anime dub. Absolutely love the story. If you haven't read Sweetness and Lightning, please do. It's awesome. And we did the chapter. It was like 12 minutes long or 15 minutes long. It was awesome. Your daughter was contagious earlier. He was hoping for it. I have more. Yes. Acoustics question. Additional treatment. Vocal booth. Okay, yeah. So in my booth, is the acoustic foam that came with the studio bricks, and in addition to the studio bricks acoustic foam that comes with the thing, is a 4-pack of bass traps that are strategically placed around, as well as additional rockwool panels in a panel, as well as in pillowcases. Like, am I able to turn on my camera? I can't, huh? I'd love to show you, but I guess I can't. Oh well. I'm gonna do a studio tour eventually soon, so you'll see it if you're on Twitter, and Hive, since Twitter is on fire, and other places, Mastodon and stuff. But yeah, my booth is standard foam that comes with the studio bricks, a 4-pack of Auralex bass straps, the Leonard bass straps, and additional rockwool. I'm a very energetic person, and I need all the absorption and treatment as possible. So I have a lot of absorbent stuff in there. Let's see. Moving on. I'm just seeing the responses to that joke. Sorry, I'll catch up. Ferraro, sure, I hate it. The classic elevator one. Yes. Scrolling. Do you recommend making your own panels? Yes, I do, Thomas. If you go to juneyoon.info, and click on acoustic panels, info, the thingy link or whatever. And if you scroll all the way down, there's a video that I've made that show you exactly how to make your own panels. Consume and go make your own panels. Absolutely. And I also sell custom ones too. Yeah, if you're too lazy to make it yourself, I'll make it. I'll make it and deliver it to you if you're in Southern California. But if you're anywhere in the contagious, oh my gosh, in the contiguous 48 states, I send you everything that you'll need to build your own. Like, it's like an IKEA thing. I include instructions, and you follow it step by step, and you will have an acoustic panel. Recommendations for bass straps? Yes, indeed. If it's more of a DIY for bass straps, you could go to your local hardware store and buy Rockwool Safe and Sound. Cut the panels in half and stack it into a cube, and then wrap it in some fabric and put it in the corner. Bada bam, there's your bass strap. If you need them to look pretty, then I would recommend B&H, B&H Photo and Video, and look up Auralex, Auralex, I believe, Auralex bass straps, and they sell a 4-pack for $200, I think, something like that. but it's one of those things, right? Either you make it your own and have it look whatever and be cost effective, or you pay for the pretty thing that works. But yeah, acoustic Auralex bass traps are some of the best. Absolutely. What are some panels I sell? The standard panels are 16.5 by 48.5 by 3.5 inches thick, and they come with hardware that you hang like a picture. And if you're local, I'll make it and deliver it to you with custom colors. Or if I have to ship it to you, you receive a big box and you open it up and you'll make it yourself. I have a soju fridge. I have a soju fridge on my desk. Yes. Yes. We need more improv classes on closing credit. They have someone else. Who is it? Someone else is teaching another one. There are two, I think, if I recall. The door can crush a man. It's true. The door itself is like 120 pounds. Just the door alone. It's amazing. Who or what inspires you to pursue voice acting? Me, really. I didn't have a hero. I didn't have anyone to look up to, or like I want to be a voice actor. I didn't have any of that. Like I wanted to become an actor forever, ever since I took my first improv class in freshman year of high school. And as I lived my life in the theater, as we do, and I became a big theater kid. Still am, to an extent. And like when I decided that acting is gonna be a happiness and a career because I have nothing else to lose, I went for it. And it's also one of those things. Like I've been told, you have this really nice voice, da 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 da, and I've heard that as well. But what do you do with that? Well, it all culminated to what I'm doing now. So really, I am my own inspiration. Although I didn't know it at the time, I guess. But this is so much fun, and the community is awesome, as you all well know. And the work is fulfilling, and I get to work from home, and the best part of working from home is not the pajamas. It's that I'm able to go to my kids' things. My gosh, my youngest one had a school rally in which he was to receive this award, this certificate thing. And like if I had a regular job, I wouldn't be able to go because it's like 10 a.m. What the who go right at the 10 a.m. So, but I was able to go, and he saw me sitting in the audience, or waving hands, and I believe like heavily, especially now in showing up, right, for recitals, for games, for award ceremonies, for performances. I believe in showing up. So one of the huge gratitude elements of what I do, what we do, and thankfully to my own circumstances, an amazing side effect and benefit, I suppose, is that I'm able to go to my kids' things. You don't know, you have no idea how happy that makes me every time that happens. Are panels better than foam? Yes, right now, absolutely, it's better than foam. The rock wool panels are 3 inches thick, and there are 3-inch foam out there as well. But it's a lot more expensive. Like as an example, if you're in the US, when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever, you buy rock wool, right? And each individual panel which is 3 inches thick, is 16 inches wide and 47 inches tall. Like imagine 16 inches by 47 inches, and inside a single pack, there are 12 of those panels. 12 in a single pack. And that single pack is about $60. So not only is it a lot less expensive, it's a lot more effective, because like Auralex foam, the foam from reputable companies are well designed and well crafted to, and they're made to absorb sound effectively with density and stuff like that. But the cheap stuff that you see on eBay, Amazon, other places, the cheap stuff that you see are imitation. It's just foam, and it's just not as dense. if you will, as the other competitive, like professional stuff, quote unquote. So it looks nice, certainly, but it's not doing a very good job of absorbing the vibrations of the air molecules in the air. The Rockwool, however, is designed. It's engineered and designed to absorb audio. Like you'll see this stuff inside the walls of home theaters and professional recording studios and stuff like that. Rockwool truly is the way to go. Again, like in that link, the acoustic panels link, if you scroll all the way down, there's another video of me of testing the Rockwool panels in my hallway, which is just all flat hard surfaces, doors and walls and ceilings, and I have hardwood floors, and the drastic difference that these panels make inside a recording environment is jaw-droppingly amazing. Watch that video. I recommend everybody here to go watch that video. What a chat. I am my own inspiration. What project character is my voice acting most known for? My gosh, I'm not really well known, if you will. I'm not well known to the general public. I'm not. I'm just not. Like you drop names like Matthew Mercer and Laura Stahl and all the Koida, all the names that you know, right? You drop in, people know. Not many people know who I am, and that's okay. I'm not here for fame. You know what I mean? I'm here to earn my living and do the thing that I love as an actor. And I recently tweeted about this. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to become famous. I'm not here to do the cons, although I would love to. But I just want to work. I just want to be a working actor. I just want work and be able to like cover the necessities, pay the bills, and obviously, right? But I want to continue my love of acting. And if that means I just do NPCs and incidentals and small supporting roles for the rest of my life, that's perfectly okay with me. Perfectly okay with me. I like to thank myself and then God. I'm not a religious person. I don't know. It's fine. In my time as an educator, what traps do you hear you have a nice voice people fall into? Like, it depends on the person. If that person is like egotistical, like they start to believe their own hype, you know what I mean? Well, maybe I do have a nice voice or whatever. Then they could get into this pattern and this misconception that voice quality, the vocal quality, is everything. You know what I mean? But you and I both know that that's not true. And should that person come across relevant and correct and valuable information that says otherwise, like, no, we are looking for actors, not someone who sounds good. You know what I mean? And the earlier they wake up to that fact, perhaps the better. But there are these predatory services and organizations and people, whatnot, who are looking at those people. Yeah, you have an amazing voice. Here, come take this class. It's 6 weeks, and at the end, we'll make you a demo, and you'll be making six figures in no time. It's only $7,000, but we're having a sale today, so it's only $4,000. Oh gosh, red flags everywhere. And the folks who are convinced of their own hype are more susceptible to falling for that kind of scam. So, like, I'm doing what I can from an educator perspective by making content, by producing information and awareness, and trying to spread it as far and wide as possible so that there's less of those unfortunate circumstances. You ask around the community, you'll hear people still to this day like, yeah, I paid them, $1,200. I got a demo, and in hindsight, I shouldn't have done that. It's still happening. So we all need to like band together as a community and help each other out in that way. You do have a nice voice. That's very kind. Thank you very much. Being a good parent is one of the big reasons to be a VO. Completely feel that. Yeah, absolutely. Just being able to be there. It's life changing. It really, really is. Yeah, buy a mic, talk, and profit. Everybody talks, right? Yeah. Yeah, go buy a violin and swing the bowl around. Next thing you know, you'll be on some orchestra. No problem. Scrolling. Rockwool. Yes, indeed. Exactly the spell the correct way. The Swiss cheese. Yeah, the Swiss cheese lecture is very edited. But you show up to my stream. I'm like this. Absolutely. 100% authentic. It's me. Thank you. I'm a cat. Meow. Thank you, Hikaru. Yeah, the screenshot really helps. That's awesome. How did you study acting? Yeah, so the high school theater, acting, and I went to college and Cal State Long Beach in Southern California here. And back then it was Joanne Gordon and David Carr, and they were very much into the Russian, as well as like other schools of thought as well. I learned about Meisner, Alexander, bits and pieces of Suzuki, which is super interesting. Stanislavski, of course, and all the other things. And I studied acting intensely, characterization, script analysis, voice and body, and directing and producing, costume shop, and things of that nature. I love working with wood, if you will. If you haven't noticed, like everything is wood. I love shop and power tools and making things. So as a high school theater teacher, I never hired anyone to come and build the sets. I did it myself and taught the students how to do it, and we did it together. At this one school, I started a technical theater class, submitted it to the state, and got it approved, and this whole thing. And I was teaching students how to operate tools, how to design flats and set pieces, construction, load-bearing things, and balance of weights, and safety precautions, how to strike sets and stuff like that. A lot of fun. But I did it throughout, as well as my own research and stuff too. There's a supplier here. Very good. Being a working actor, I mean, all my notes, but yeah, I just want to be a working actor. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what the role is, as long as I'm acting and getting paid for it, I'll do it. Of course, almost everything. I have a ton of fun acting. It's true. Is there any specific line I've enjoyed the most for career thus far? Yes. NDA and the NDAs abound, certainly, but there was this one thing that I recently did with this one studio in person, where I have never done that before. Like X, Y, and Z things, sure, but when you but as an actor, when you get to try this new thing that you've never done before that other people do, and you realize for yourself, like, wow, like these people who are doing it on the regular must be amazing. They're amazing, because I've gotten a small sample of that. I can't say, but I've gotten a small sample of that, and it humbled me to my core. At the technicalities and the ability that's required for this thing. When it comes out, I'll talk about it, obviously. But recently there was an experience like that, and that was certainly a lot of fun. Oh, good. A cat picture. Yay. Chair. Nice. Now I hate it less. Good. That's the idea. Eventually you'll go, it's just my voice. Should I take script analysis class? Yes. Absolutely yes. Building is fun. Woodworking is, it's a lot of fun. Absolutely. Having a nice voice. Coaching NDAs, glasses. Oh, I think I'm catching up. Mina Rose, hello. Let's see. Observer. What do you suggest? Hobbyist. Voice actor. It's about seeing and observing what you're seeing and observing and absorbing as well, and seeing how you could interpret that and incorporate that in your own thing. Like if you're a participant in this acting class, workshop, workout, you're getting direct interaction from the director, right? Do this. How about we do it this way or whatever? But if you're an observer, you're not getting direct interaction, but you are still receiving those pieces of direction and the ways to rethink this. If I'm attending a class as an observer and I have my microphone and camera off, you bet I'm acting. Right? Like here's this. I make, at least for my own workshops and workouts, right? Mina Rose, you were there. I make the scripts available to everybody for this reason, so that you can take a look at the script that the current actor is working on, and you can do it. We won't hear you because your mic is off, and we won't see you because your camera's off. But here you are with a piece of script and some time, so do it. It's about taking the information that you get, that you're able to absorb and observe, and incorporating it into your own craft the way it makes sense to you. And there's value as an observer. And everybody here, should you ever attend a workout, workshop, whatever, as an as an observer, as an auditor, you cannot just sit there and watch. No. Think and figure out what you can steal from these people and incorporate into your own way of doing things, auditions and marketing or whatever it might be. That's the point and purposes of you being there as an observer. Da, la, la, la. Yes, it's pretty simple. La, la, la. Scrolling. And caught up. Oh, yeah. So much stealing happening. I mean, coughing notes happening. Coughing notes? No, note coughing. Note writing stealing happening. Yes. Yeah, don't troll. That's not very nice. No, they are completely optional. If you are if you're signed up as a participant, as an actor, cameras are completely optional. It's better to have it on so the director can see you and can make a better piece, a better suggestions and guidance, because we don't act with just our voice, right? That's the biggest misconception. No one just acts with their mouth. We do it with our entire body. If you're gonna swing that sword, you better swing that sword, right? If you're gonna get punched, I want to see, literally see, like you hunch over, but stay on mic, obviously. But I want to see these physicalities manifest in the actors that I direct. And a lot of directors feel the same way. Obviously, in-person workshops is a different thing because you're there in person. You'll see it. And the genre and the delivery of Zoom sessions is going to be different, obviously. So some directors don't mind because we're all working with what we have. And some directors really prefer to see you. And if they can see you and hear you, they can direct you better and give you better feedback. You know what I mean? So it's in your interest to have the camera on, but if there's like performance anxiety or whatever reasons that you cannot have it on, then that's perfectly fine too. So it's more about preference, I suppose. Do you cover the entire wall? No. Can you? Yes. Can you put up one panel and call it a day? No. But if you really want it done professionally, you're building a wall, you're building a studio, aren't you? I clicked onto the studio NPCs Twitter and saw pictures of like framing in the thing. In a space like that, like it's feasible to cover everything because there's not that much surface area. But you don't have to. You don't have to at all. Google recording studio, voiceover recording studio, and spy what the interior looks like from Google Images, and you'll see studios that are covered in absorbent stuff, the panels, and studio spaces that have like spaces in between. You know, as long as there's enough panels strategically placed to cover the reflections of the sound, then you're fine. You don't have to cover the entire wall. Can you? Yes, you can, but you don't have to. But definitely enough in there to cover. I'll cover as much as you can. Yeah, but you swing that sword. Tips for quickly changing emotions when acting, going from sad to happy to angry. Tips for slowly changing emotions. Yes. Build a story around those lines that allow you to do that. Like, human beings can change emotions pretty quickly. Why? And why do we do that? Why? It's because we're responding. Nobody just changes emotions on a whim for no reason, right? The reason why we change these emotions is because we're realizing things are happening and we're responding as human beings, right? In stories and acting, it's the same thing. Build a story, whatever the story may be, and configure it like this. Okay, so in this line, this is gonna happen, and then this is gonna happen, and then this is gonna happen. It's not in the script, and no one's telling you to do it, but you choose for yourself. At these are what's gonna happen, and then read the line, perform the line, and have your body, literally, have your body react, and then you'll change from this emotion to that emotion to that emotion. As long as you can, of course, stay authentic to who you are and how you behave in these things, how you respond, like a normal human being. I hope that makes sense. Go to June Yoon. Go to studionpc.com, and scroll all the way down to the bottom. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and listen to Swiss Cheese 2.0. It's 33 minutes of script analysis, character analysis, acting methodologies, all for free. There you go. And I cover making these stories with relationship location conflict. There you go. Thank you, Reina. Yes, indeed. As someone who has been trying to do this for a good 80 years or so, maybe a little less, if I'm hitting a wall, or the attack from a different angle, it's going to spark up joy. Well, and I am not. I'm gonna let me put out this disclaimer, John, that I don't know you, right? And I don't know you. And because I don't know you, I can't say for certain. But and I'm not saying that this is not a happiness for you, but maybe it's time to assess if voice acting is a happiness. That's one. The answer can be yes or no, and they're both right answers, of course. And if the answer is yes, and you love this, and of course, why would you do it for 8 years if you didn't like it, right? Then we have to troubleshoot. Like, why aren't you getting traction? It could be your acting capability, and if so, then more training is needed. Who's a perfect person to give you that assessment? A coach, I would imagine, right? So, is it your acting? Yes or no? It could also be your home studio. If you're in LA and New York and Texas and you're going in to record, that's not really a problem anymore, I guess, right? But if you're not in a hub, then you're gonna need a really good studio to record inside of, to be able to produce good quality audio, because otherwise, why should they hire you, right? So if it's audio quality, then we're going to have to do some research, listen to files, and figure out how to make that better. And if it's not acting, and if you have a really good home studio already, then maybe it's marketing. Maybe it's the idea of you not running your business like an entrepreneurship, as you should, and reaching out and making contacts and building relationships and creating content and quote unquote getting yourself out there. That's how I view this industry through those the triforce of voice acting. If you've seen that tweet, then you know what I'm talking about. It's acting, audio quality or production, and entrepreneurship. Right back to me, please, John. How do you feel about those three areas? That's where we start from. Moving on. Scrolling. Proper techniques for screaming in a way that won't harm your voice or throat. I've been trying to experiment different ways. Haven't found something 100% all the time. Phoenix Artisan, thanks for the question. Like, screaming is also different in terms of context, right? You just won $3 billion and you're screaming in happiness is going to be a different screaming than you getting strapped down to a table as this evil villain cuts off your left toe. That's going to be a different scream, right? um like physically speaking, in terms of safety, scream as you would in that story. Like, here you are strapped to the wall and the villain has taken their dagger and stabbed you in the kidneys. Like, let out a scream that you would in that scenario. And mechanically, physically, physiologically, if it starts to hurt, then you gotta stop. If it doesn't, then you're fine. Do it from the belly, of course. But if it's a happy scream because you're sitting in your living room and the six number clicks into place and there's $200 million you just won, that's a different scream, right? Do it the way that you would, like a normal human being or an alien or whatever your character might be, you know? But other than like physiological techniques about bracing your core and redirecting airflow and controlling the exhale and things of that nature, which you can learn from singing coaches, I would imagine. Screaming as you would in that story, screaming and responding as you typically would in that story, is what's required. And no director in their right mind is gonna require 30 screams from you in that session. You know what I mean? So if you can produce something that's authentic and real and feels genuine to the moment, then it's gonna be 1, 2, 3 takes. Really, anything beyond that is unreasonable, I would say, because it's gonna start to hurt, obviously. So I would put it that way. And if I could like clarify that some more, then please let me know. Yeah, and thank you for the links. And yeah, that episode exactly. Makes sense actually. I do love doing it. Good. Home studio could use a few more bass traps. Audio seems to be sound overall good. Mic and acting education in some way. We're gonna feedback your work money or not pay for work. Yeah. Again, I wish I could answer it with a more higher degree of specificity, but the thing is, I don't know you. Sorry, but I would attend workshops and connect with coaches and people and have them give you an assessment, not of your demo, but to go into some kind of a session where somebody can observe and analyze and experience your acting and provide feedback. That's what they're supposed to do, right? And from there, you'll either discover that there are areas where you could work on for these characters and these stories, or attend these classes by audio engineers, right? They'll tell you like these are the things that are wrong and these are the things that could certainly use improvement upon. And if it's audio quality, there you go. For business, John, in fact, let me send you over to voiceover entrepreneur, right? Mark Scott is a dear friend and a colleague who runs this podcast called The Everyday VOpreneur, voiceover entrepreneur, VOpreneur.com. And he's got like 100+ episodes of podcast, all for free, where he talks about the business side of voiceover, marketing and cold emails, websites, demos, agents, and he has guests. I was on there one time for Twitter, and all the things that are based on how to run a business. And truly, this effort as voice actor is more entrepreneurial than actor. This is something that I've realized years into my own journey. It doesn't matter how amazing of an actor you are inside the $300,000 studio if no one knows you exist. You know what I mean? If no one knows you exist, it doesn't matter, you know? So the marketing aspect, getting yourself out there aspect, it needs to be improved by everyone, myself included, which is why I'm constantly making content. Yeah, Mark Scott. The Everyday VOpreneur in all the podcast platforms, all for free. Like, listen to every single episode, every single one. Start the most recent one and go back. There's a mountain of great information on that podcast. What rock wool? Yeah, the 3-inch rock wool is perfectly fine, Thomas. And it's a red and they sell these different types of rock wool. They're insulation that goes inside the drywall. You know what I mean? And you want to get the rock wool that's specifically branded as the safe and sound, safe and sound, and it's labeled that way because it's fire retardant as well. Like there's demo videos where they take it to like a demo to a convention, and they literally set the thing on fire. Right? They take the torch and put it directly on rock wool, and it won't catch on fire. So it's fire retardant built in, and it's also sound absorbing. So like it's perfect for babies' rooms and stuff like that. And that's how they market it. You know what I mean? Safe and sound. Rock wool, safe and sound is what you want. The 3-inch thick variety. Thicker the better, though. Absolutely. Best man for the job when the best man isn't seen but good enough is. Yeah. Because the director in the session can bring out what they need out of you. This much is guaranteed. They hired this director because they know this person can bring out the thing that they need. But in order to shape it into a diamond, the starting material has to be of certain quality as well. You know what I mean? Like no one's expecting anyone to walk into a session and be perfect on take one. You know what I mean? So your job, everybody's job here is to present the best material as raw and as authentic and real as you can, so that they can see the potential in you and shape you into what they want you to be in this production. You know, and that's a mind shift, certainly. No one's expecting anyone here to bring the finalized product to their MP3 folder. They're not. They want to see who you are and what you can do, and how much fun you can have with the script. Imagine you made it. You made this character, right? You sent it out to 100 people, and what comes back is XYZ things. But there's this one actor who is seemingly having a lot of fun with this character, with these words that I wrote down in audition, and if that's not a promise of a good time in a session and a promise of an energetic and real and authentic representation and characterization of this beloved character that I love because I wrote it and created this character, then I don't know what, you know. Getting from the client who needs you. Same. Yeah, Viewpreneur. Thank you very much, Ter. Appreciate it. Mineral wool is going inside my drawers for boot. Yeah, I would stuff it with rock wool, safe and sound. No question. And I am caught up again. My pleasure. And this, oh Lottie, are you aware that you're now level, right? Getting closer to and Phoebe has not yet answered that question. This same message has been here ever since I've joined the VA Guild many years ago, and then I left and came back. But I'm pleasantly happy to see that this is still here. Is that Rockwell? That one. Thank you, my Sean. Yes. Is that Rockwell Safe and Sound? The one with the pink panther on it, the pink baby on it. Yes. As to make 12 panels, you need to make 12 safe and sound Rockwell. Right. So what's seen here? This picture of this screenshot of the Rockwell pack. Inside that pack are 12 panels. Either you need to go buy a bunch of pillowcases and stuff it into pillowcases like I did, or go buy lumber and build actual panels. Videos of both in that one website. Pink baby means it works well. Yeah, it's true. The stuff is designed to absorb sound. Designed and engineered to absorb sound. Purpose built. Just we get to enjoy it as a byproduct for our purposes. It's awesome. It's mineral wool. It's not fiberglass. No. So no worries about breathing it into your lungs. Yeah. But there are what is the other one? It's the Corning Owens Corning 703, I think. It's the other installation that's designed to absorb sound, but that stuff is fiberglass. You can see that stuff on the Booth Junkies YouTube channel. If you're gonna handle it, of course, like gloves, long sleeve, it's stuff. The stuff will get inside your skin still, and it itches for a few days. My gosh. Yeah. Ooh, nice booth. Yeah. Look, it's you take some lumber and you make a booth. It's no different than a PVC pipe booth, only a lot more sturdy. Absolutely. And we can put heavier things on the inside and all around. Use wood. PVC pipe is fine, but use wood. It's so much better. Italy has awful availability. Yeah. See, European markets, I'm sure, is a lot different, indeed. Starting out, would it be best to focus on the audio quality, voice acting aspects first? Focus on all three first aspects. Do all three if you can. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of energy to expended, if you will. And everybody's lives and circumstances are different, obviously. So do what you can, but ideally, all three should be focused on and energy spent on and made progress upon on all three. Absolutely. But if I had to order in order, if I had to prioritize in order, right, I would say the audio quality first. Hopefully simultaneously audio quality and acting together. What good is marketing if your acting is terrible, right? So I would, if I had to prioritize, I would say audio quality and acting capability first, at least those two simultaneously, and then follow it up with marketing. But ideally, all three at the same time. What is that in the air thing? Oh, is that for me? What is that air thing you have in your to cool it? Is that for me or for Ubiquitous? Reina, please clarify. About 1,000, much cheaper than the 4,000 Whisper rooms I see online. Exactly. Yeah, you can totally build a really good booth in DIY. 100%. From someone or anyone completely creating a recording space out of scratch, list out the foundational must-haves for a solid setup. Absolutely. Creating a home studio is about two things: isolation and treatment. Isolation is isolating a recording space from the external sounds, lawnmowers, HVAC, air conditioning, motorcycles on the street. Isolating. And for the audio signal or sound waves to be blocked so that the inside space is isolated, for it to be blocked, it's about density and mass. And you'll hear this if you could build a home studio on in the middle of your house. In the middle of your house or apartment, it's best because you have all these walls from the outside sound that has to travel through, right? And for whatever. And if you have a room in the corner of the house, and that corner of the house faces a busy street, then you're going to have a more difficult time isolating the audio, if you will. So, a great reason why a walk-in closet works so well is because it's surrounded by walls. Not just a walk-in closet, but the walls of your house, apartment, whatever it might be. So isolation as best you can. Either that or you build it and you put on layers and layers and layers of moving blankets. More mass, more density the sound wave has to travel through, better isolation it is. So once you isolate it out an interior space, then it's about treatment. What good is an isolated space made out of lead, right? Or glass? if the sound is bouncing everywhere inside the space. So dampening of the sound waves by foam, by rock wool, bass straps, da 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 da, it's what's necessary. So practicality speaking, like buy PVC pipes or 2x4s or whatever it is that you may have access to, or inside a walk-in closet, and make sure it's well isolated and well treated. And that means when you clap, like when you clap your hands together, and the shockwave travels through your room, and if you can hear the clap and ringing in your audio, then you need more treatment, right? And if you listen carefully and you hear the bus go by, then you need more isolation, you know? So to battle isolation, it's about mass and layers and density. And for absorption of audio is about also density as well, but strategic placement, covering flat, hard surfaces on the inside of that space with rock wool, with clothes, pillows, couch cushions, whatever it is, the stuff that can dampen the shockwaves traveling through the space. I hope that makes sense. Please. Silent fan is super helpful. Yes, indeed. Oh yeah, I have AC. The fan that comes with the studio bricks is this super quiet fan, and on hot summer days it's very difficult, as obviously. So I built this channel for my AC flow and brought it into my booth and connected it to the fan that provides ventilation inside my booth. So I get cold air in there now. Yay, when the AC's on. But it's winter, so I don't need cold air anymore. But in summer days, that'll come in really handy. The product is just pull the cold air in. Oh yeah. So studio bricks. If you, I don't know if I showed in that video. Studio bricks come with a ventilation fan that you can install in there. But you could like build one using like silent, really quiet computer fans, right? If you're going to use a duct solution, kind of like that, there are these really silent computer fans with adapters that you could cobble together to make a ventilation system. That's an idea. I mean, yeah, when Superman's after you, then it might be very helpful. A PVC and moving blankets is perfect, absolutely, as long as there are a number of layers of moving blankets effectively blocking out the audio from the outside. Like if you live in a quiet cul-de-sac in this suburban area where there's no air traffic, no car traffic, no barking dogs or lawnmowers every day, then maybe you don't need 5 layers of moving blankets. You know what I mean? But if you happen to live in a more busier place, then you may need more layers for better isolation. It really depends on where you are and what the immediate surrounding is like. What are specific materials that voice actors must obtain to treat their space? Like, if you're gonna build the frame with PVC pipes, then yeah, PVC pipes. Just make sure it's very sturdy and it's well supported, so it doesn't collapse on you. You know what I mean? And if you happen to live in a more noisier environment, just know that you're gonna need more layers to isolate the space. And more layers of heavy blanket means your structure, your skeletal structure is gonna need to be very beefy, right? If you're in a quiet neighborhood and there's not a sound in the air all day throughout the day, then maybe one layer of moving blanket on a bare bones PVC pipe skeleton is fine, right? It really depends on your circumstance. But pipes or some kind of a skeletal material to build the skeleton of the booth, then some kind of a moving blankets or flats, whatever it might be, to provide isolation. And then on the inside, foam, rock wool, bass traps, pillowcases, whatever it is, and stuffed dolls to absorb the dampening of the sound. Does that make sense, Hikaru? Um, layers to isolate the space, and absorbent material on the inside to absorb the audio. I don't have a closet, which is I built a booth. Yeah, I mean, the only reason why you should be building a booth is because you don't have a closet in which to work. Absolutely. My neighbor blasting music, so much bass. Low frequencies are much better. They're more efficient in penetrating through walls. Like we hear the, but not the treble sounds, right? It's physics. What are you gonna do? We live in this universe, and low frequencies will trickle in as they do. And the best that we can do to isolate, we need to as best we can. Mate, you go ahead, and that's what we do. In the beginning, that's what we do. My beginning, my very first recording area was the corner of my garage. I read about treatment and absorption of audio, so I got myself into the corner of the garage, and I hung up a bunch of towels all around. It didn't do a lot. The narrator, it didn't work as well as he thought he would. But yeah, it's about learning and learning and developing and improving things as you go. I mean, unless you have, $20,000 to drop right here, right now, then that's a different story, sure. But you start where you can. Layers to isolate the space and absorb a material on the inside. Exactly. You got it. You got it. Would you recommend still making a booth if you have a closet, but isn't tall enough to stand in? It depends as well. Sorry for all the depends. There are a number of people who do voice acting while sitting down. Good for them. I am a stander. I don't know. I like to stand. Can you build a booth inside a walk-in closet? Yes, you can, and it would certainly be better because that's even more isolation and even more absorbency, more treatment. So the audio quality will be better, which is good. But if it limits your movement, then I don't think it's better. You know what I mean? You got to be able to swing that sword. Are walk-in closets a voice actor's version of heaven? Yes. In fact, some voice actors, when they're moving and finding a new apartment or a house or whatever, a walk-in closet is a required item. You know? If you're in LA, would you still recommend a home studio or can you forego it? Julian, if you have an agency who is particularly known for voiceover and it's not too far away, then you don't need one. You can just go in there and record your auditions and do your work. You'll have to coordinate with other talent who are doing the same thing, obviously, but you don't need it. You could, however, I mean, whatever apartment, whatever it is, it's gonna have a closet, right? It according to the code, building code, a bedroom is not a bedroom without a closet. So you're gonna have a closet of some kind. And should you like squeeze in there and create the best audio quality that you can for audition purposes, I think that's fine. But like unless you plan on doing all your work for by going to studios and doing in studio work only, you need a home studio. For anything outside of all those projects, you need a home studio that can produce good audio. Like if you're Ryan Colt Levy and you're the voice of Chainsaw Man, right? You don't need a home studio because everybody knows you're capable, your capability, you're assigned, and everybody knows what you can do. So they can just bring you into a studio and record you. So you don't need a home studio. And it's not like Ryan is auditioning for things on Twitter, right? So in that case, in those cases, it's different. But for anyone who is submitting auditions for Twitter projects, indie projects, casting call club, VAC, so on and so forth, you're gonna need a home studio. Is there a specific layout for voice actor resumes and submitting for agents? Do workshops go on it? Yes, absolutely they do. Reina, click into the podcast. Go to studionpc.com, and on the upper right corner there's a podcast link. I literally uploaded the resume talk weeks ago, I think, that tells you what to do or what to put on there. But submitting for agencies though right now, they don't really care about your resume unless they ask. They want to talk to you, they want to listen to your demo, they want to see what you've done. So resume is important in that aspect, but they would probably look at your website before glancing at your resume. You know what I mean? So like, make a resume page, have a downloadable PDF, I would say, but have a resume page on your website. Go to my website and take a look. Something like that, maybe. June.actor. And copy and steal. Absolutely. Thank you, Thomas. I've caught up to the chat again. And sing with me on Voice Actor Duet Challenge and make content. Is there any way to break up the sound from monitors in the studio, still being able to read them? Yes, John. By increasing, but number one, by having the monitor behind the microphone where it's insensitive. Number one, right? Because we're all working with a cardioid pattern microphone, so the monitor should be behind the microphone first and foremost. But you can't put like textured surface on a that it's not practical, right? So increase the dampening effect of all the other areas. So if the sound does, the sound will, if as the sound bounces off the flat surface of the monitor, it gets immediately absorbed in the surrounding areas. Inside my booth, I have 2 monitors. 2. And those 2 monitors are the only flat surfaces I have. Only. For this purpose. And I can project to the back of the theater in this 1,000-seat space, and I still will not hear boxiness or not resonance. What reverb? Oh my gosh. Yeah, we need to have. I remember attending a workshop with one of the legacy voice actors, and she was like, "Okay, everybody, make sure to print out your scripts and have a pencil ready because we're gonna be writing things." And I showed up with my iPad and my Apple Pencil, and they were very disappointed. Like, I wanted you to print actual paper, but this is how I work. Sorry. Do it the way you need. Right? It's about self-awareness. How do you work? Thank you. What are some places you can go to make a website? Oh, Ethan. Card is where you go. It's free. It's free and it looks amazing. Ethan, go to my Twitch channel. Twitch.tv/ June Yoon __. There are 2 underscores. Go to my Twitch and click on videos and go into the playlist called Professional Impact. I believe the first video that's there is how to make a voice acting website, how to make a voice actor website in under 30 minutes. And I show you, and I take you through the steps, step by step, on how to make it for free. Do it today. Today, Ethan. And DM me afterwards and show me the proof. Today, here's your homework. Do it now. And then the part 2 of that video shows you all the customization features, like how to adjust the width and font and graphics, da 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 da. But I literally made a step-by-step on how to make a voice actor website. I'll type it in. Professional Impact playlist. Along with all the... That link is not allowed. Sorry. I gotcha. And in that playlist of videos is me playing Genshin Impact and talking about demos and website and video editing, marketing, all the things that are relevant to what we do. So it doesn't mean you have to sit there and watch me on a stream from years ago, from some time ago. Like put me in your ears and go do your dishes, right? Go do your laundry, or if you're driving somewhere, listen to it. You know, that's why I have those VODs there. Yeah. Thank you, Hikaru. Thank you, Hikaru. Yes, indeed. And all the other videos that are there. In fact, it took 21 minutes. So there you go. And it's literally step by step. I did it on a live stream. I don't have time to make a website. You have 21 minutes. Somewhere. No more excuses. Earlier, I mentioned it was best to try focus on audio and acting before marketing. Is there a way to gauge your ability? Yeah, coach. Coach. Wouldn't it really hurt to do the marketing to continue to build up? Absolutely. Yeah. It wouldn't really hurt to improve on the marketing of your already like good acting and good audio quality, right? Is it better that you get yourself out there day one? Yes. Right? That's to get out there as early as you can is always better, sure. But if time, money, budget, whatever constraint might be affecting those decisions, and if you cannot focus on all three at the same time due to whatever reasons it may be, then yes, audio quality and acting capability. Audio quality, you get assessed from communities like these. There's a gear and audio section. I used to be very active in that place. To ask questions, right? And if you really need to, hire an audio engineer and have them listen to your sound. Nice and easy. It's physics. Either they're going to go, it sounds great, or they're going to go, okay, you need to improve on these things. And there's a finite answer because it's physics. It's numbers and science. Acting capability, coach. A coach who is qualified to provide you with feedback, right? Your friend who has been voice acting for 6 months is not qualified to provide you with feedback. But a voice actor in the genre that you want to work in, who is a professional in working full time, and they have a history of currently booking roles, this and that, qualifications, like because they're in the work, and what they're doing is obviously working, you know. So hire them or attend their workshop, whatever, and get their thoughts so that you can carefully and self-assess and qualitatively self-assess your current abilities and work on the areas that you need to work on according to their expertise and their assessment. And in that way, over time, no one becomes an amazing actor overnight, right? This much we can agree on. It takes time. No one's going to become an amazing violinist overnight. It's a craft that you hone. And to hone a craft, it takes time. But we want everything to happen tomorrow, which is the rub, if you will. So take that, if you will, with that grain of salt called time, I suppose. Make that website aggressive supported. Do it now. Essential for a closet studio. If treated properly, can just a mic reading from your phone be enough to going around? Yeah, a reading from a mic can totally be enough for these certain things. If you audition for Genshin Impact, and with a microphone, with a phone mic in a closet, they're probably not going to take that. But this visual novel from this indie studio of one person, maybe this casting call club of this one thing, this dub for fun, maybe, right? Like, and I've said this multiple times, right? Recording environment is number one priority. Above and beyond the microphone, above and beyond the interface, the recording environment is the most important aspect of a home studio. And the closet, which already comes with dampening, because there's clothes and parkas and pants and storage items in there already, right? Is a well purpose-built, side effect positive space in which to record. I would say, like, have all the clothes and the most dampening things behind you as best you can, because that's where the mic should be pointed at. And record inside a closet. It's already a built place where there's a lot of dampening and it's well isolated from the other exterior sounds. Yeah, if treated properly, like you'll be amazed at what your phone can record, the quality of audio what your phone can record, in a well treated space. But like, you take a Neumann U87 $3,600 microphone, you take it into a stairwell, and you're gonna record terrible audio. Not for voiceover, for singing maybe. The natural reverberation of a stairwell is great, sure, for singing and music, but not for voiceover. I hope that makes sense. Archive of coaches that are reputable. Yeah. Prior to the pandemic, it was very it was sketchy, sure. But now, so many places offer online acting, Zoom calls, online sessions, right? Studio NPC included. Thank you very much. Little plug. It's a studio that I run. But I would start there, John. Group workshops and these educational studios are great places to get your bearing for not a lot of commitment, if you will. Start there. Studio NPC, Sound on Studio, Adventures in Voice Acting, Ace Studios, of course, Real Voice LA, all the places. I would start there, and then you'll come across these actors and coaches and directors who teach one-on-ones on a daily on a separate basis. And as you attend these group sessions, you'll get to like test drive them, if you will. And if you happen to click really well with this one director, you like what they're saying, and what they're saying makes sense to you, and you can feel improvement happening, then maybe you reach out to that person and do private one-on-ones in which you'll receive a lot more value and attention and time, Go fishing in these workshops, observe, if you will. It's certainly cheaper to do it that way. And start and make a list of people that click with you, that you can jive with, and then test them out further by taking an initial session and see how you feel about them, and then move forward from there. I meant having a proper microphone, but reading line from your phone. Sorry. I got you. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you bring in paper or if you have them on a wall scroll. Perfectly fine. Read it from your phone. That's fine. But whatever microphone that you might have, if it's a large diaphragm microphone, then you're gonna need to probably point, like, take the Yeti, for example, right? The Yeti, the Blue Yeti. It's a condenser. It's a large diaphragm condenser microphone. That's a cardioid pattern. So where the capsule is where it's sensitive, right? And you want to point that sensitivity at your mouth, at your head, right? So that it can hear your voice and record it. But what the microphone is also listening to is not just your voice in your head, but your voice and your head, not in your head, but the immediate area around you. Most notably behind you, in fact. So if you're in a closet, unless your walk-in closet is a 360 surround with clothes and stuff around you, it's typically 1 or 2 or 3-sided, right? You want to point that microphone in the most dampening area of the walk-in closet or a closet, so that the area in which it's listening is well treated. And behind the microphone, it's very insensitive. So there's no point in having clothes upon clothes upon clothes behind the microphone, because it's listening to where your mouth is and the immediate area around it. It's something I want to talk about. I wish I could turn on my camera. My microphone is pointed at the stack of bass traps in the corner for this reason. There's a lot of bass traps, a lot of absorbent material in the area that my microphone is pointing at, because that's where I'm standing and recording from. Will a USB mic suffice for now? Yes, for now. But increasingly, EKVA, if you haven't seen it for yourself yet, increasingly, XLR microphones are being more and more recommended and required for these things, more and more. And it's precisely because the technology is becoming a lot more available and accessible now. There was a time in time where the Blue Yeti was good enough, but a brand spanking new AT2020 is $100, and a brand spanking new Behringer Euphoria is $60, something like that. And that's basically about the price of a Blue Yeti. You know what I mean? It's pretty similar. Like, why would anyone if you're a streamer, right? If you're a podcast host, then a USB mic is fine. Of course. Their audio quality isn't a ruler in which they assess your qualifications. But for us, audio quality does matter. And having an XLR microphone or investing in your business, thank you very much, I would advise it. Night Guard Fern, hello. Why exams today? I'm sorry. Hopefully, at least this is recorded and archived later, right? There we go. Yes, indeed. We wouldn't be able to see it. Kaivier, yes, indeed. I am bilingual for Korean. I'm Korean bilingual, so I've done a lot of stuff in Korean. In fact, I would say that's the majority of what I do is in the Korean language. Yes, I would recommend it. 100%. Oh, you're Korean too. Sweet. No, do it. Do it. There are many clients around the world who need Korean versions of things, whether that be an audiobook or a YouTube video or e-learning modules, explainer, corporate reads, whatever it is. Yeah, definitely capital. If you can speak another language at a native level, right? If you just started learning Korean, don't call yourself bilingual because that's lying to your clients. But if you are natively fluent, as in the people from that country will be 100% convinced that this person is indeed from that country, natively bilingual, then yes, of course you should. Of course you should. $80 VO setup, $80 for XLR mic interfaces are good enough. As times change, right? Decent webcam, yeah, Reina. The Logitech C920, it's the best. And for the money, for the value that it brings, the Logitech C920 is still the best. Like for ease of use included as well, but like for the same price of a C920, and I want to challenge everybody here and your technical aspects, For the same price of a Logitech C920, you could buy an old GoPro, which admittedly has a higher quality lens and image sensor, and bring that into a capture card and use that as your webcam. Yeah, like Mark said, exactly. Like that's essentially what I have in my desk. I have a Canon Rebel T3. This is like 2001. You know what I mean? It's a long time ago. And I use that for streaming. And I have a GoPro Hero 5 Black that I use for Zoom calls. And it's awesome. The low light is so much better. Image quality is so much better for about the same price of a C920. But do you have to have a nice webcam? You don't. You really don't, unless you're streaming. I can speak and understand Korean. Can read only some Hangul. Yeah. Like again, the voiceover realm is filled with people. So many people. Admittedly, not that many Koreans. So you already have a bit of a leg up, I suppose. But if you're going to work as a voice actor in that language, Kai, then the enunciation, pronunciation, the fluency of your speaking will also need to be improved, certainly, to be competitive with other Korean voice actors who can speak better, whatever that means, more fluently. But the question comes back again to happiness. Like, do you want to? You know what I mean? Is learning Korean and becoming more fluent in the language something of natural, organic, genuine desire? Then yes, absolutely. And should you decide that that is something that you are genuinely interested in, then there is potential and possibility for voice work in Korean. Absolutely. Studio News Cam capture card. Yeah. They just have to be able to see you. If you're in a recording session, they just need to be able to see you. That's all. Unless you're streaming, unless you're doing like live audition by Zoom and you're on camera talent, that's different, I guess. You know. I mentioned 80-20-20 under camera for XLR microphone and interfaces. So these are yeah. Universal Audio just released the Volt line to compete with the Focusrite Scarlett Solos. You know, Universal. Go uaaudio.com, uaaudio.com, and click into the Volt, VOLT, Volt line of interfaces. Like these are people that know interfaces. The same company that makes the Apollo Twin, which is what I have as well. Like these interfaces are gonna serve you well. Like no one should be buying a Focusrite Scarlett anymore because Volts are here now. You know what I mean? I love my Apollo Twin, absolutely. And when this thing goes kaput years later, I'm sure I'm replacing it with another one, no question. Yeah, the Scarlett, they came out swinging, and the Volt is such. And right now, if you buy it now, like there's a $400 credit that you can spend towards the UAD plugins. So you could have a Volt interface and an Avalon VT737SP emulator in there, which is awesome. My gosh, I've caught up with the chat again, folks. Thank you. I have arrived. Go to my Twitter, download the video, and sing with me. Beauty and the Beast. Do. Do it, my shine. I want to hear it. I really got nothing to ask me. That's fine. Should you think of something though, come to my stream and ask. Every stream is AMA for this reason. I'm glad to have met you as well. Welcome, welcome. What are foods you don't eat if you want to voice act? Like, you can eat everything. It's fine. You know what I mean? But before a session, right? Or before recording in any way, I would stay away from milk or dairy. It gets all sticky in there and yeah, you know what I mean? Generally don't eat before you record. Lots of water, sure, for hydration and things of that nature. But don't eat right before you record because mouth noise and stuff like that, obviously. But generally speaking, you can eat whatever you want. It's fine. Sing the Aladdin one earlier. Record it, make content, produce, post. Ekabe, I've been doing this thing called Voice Actor Duet Challenge for a couple of years now, maybe more than a couple of years now, I think. There's a whole YouTube playlist of me singing one part and leaving blanks for the other parts to sing along. And the idea here is to sing along, record, and edit yourself into this blank space that I provide and make content. Make content. That's the point. John, do it. Do it. Do it. Favorite UAD plugin, the Avalon VT737SP, no question. And then the Teletron, and then the Teletronics LA2A, the 1176LN, Pultec for that little bit of color, which is what you're hearing right now. Yeah. The Avalon plugin is like $300, I think, normally. And they were having a sale at this one opportune moment for like $100 or something like that. Buy it. Immediately bought it. Unsweetened lemon water with ginger for vocal prep. I would try it. I don't know. I'm not a singer, so I don't know. But anything they say to try it. If it works, great. If not, then I guess not. Yeah, the green apples are super helpful with mouth noise. Absolutely. Do you have to eat them every time? No. Hydrate. That's better. Vocal warm-ups I recommend? Absolutely. The way to decrease mouth noises, yes, be hydrated. I began my day with a glass of coffee, 2 cups of coffee, and then water throughout the whole day. Tiny little sips. I'm constantly peeing because of water. Mouth noise. Warm-ups right now. Do this, okay? Every morning, anytime you have a chance in the morning, click into the lobby of the general chats that are here. Click into the lobby and just randomly scroll to a random place, wherever it is, and then read and perform the conversations that they're having. Give these different. What if I eat an apple during a voiceover, specifically green? Do you have any vocal warm-ups you recommend? Or a way to decrease mouth noise? Gotta drop out, but thank you so much for taking your time today to chat with us. I appreciate it, June. Like, do a whole page of that in the morning. That way you're loosening up the muscles in your mouth, right? Having some fun in the meantime. Nobody has to know that you're doing this. I do this every day. Don't tell anybody. And it warms you up. It's awesome and it's fun. Avalon VT737, a super well-known hardware unit for interface compression, EQ. It does a lot of things, but it has this wonderful coloring effect to your voice that we love. It's so cool. Did my pronunciation get better over time, or did you have to work on it with tongue twisters? Yes and no. Like, I had to learn the language. I was 14 when I came here and didn't know English at all. I knew 7 words. That was it. So I learned as best I could. And because I came here so late, quote unquote late, this Korean accent that I have in my English is never going away. I am interested eventually one day to reach 100% North American accent one day, but I really don't have a need to, like, my niche. I would say the niche in which I work is my Korean accent. And and it's natural and organic. I don't think about putting on an accent. I just have one, you know? So, at some point, I decided that this was gonna be my niche. And I've heard from so many people, you're gonna have to lose that accent if you want to be competitive in this industry. Yes and no, I guess, but I'm gonna choose to become that guy, that Korean, that Korean father, that Korean general, that Korean captain, that guy. And I just want to be a working actor. And thankfully, uh, due to entrepreneurship and marketing, my effort in all these years of knowing people in this way, when people say Korean, I'm one of the few names that pop up. You know, it's a niche, and I like it here. Unless trends change, of course, then it's something else. Voxbox. Yeah, Voxbox, Manly Box, Manly Audio, and many other plugins. Super good. Yeah, Green Apple is really good at cutting mouth noise. Manly Voxbox Pro. That's it. Thank you. Mickey Mouse? What do you mean? La, la, la. Yeah, it's not required, but by no means, of course. Preamps and stuff. They say my mic interface computer street room. It's true. Yeah, you don't need a preamp. Absolutely not. My British accent is horrid. I don't do British accents because no, I can't. I don't. Why? When there's you. You know? Why? When there's you. When there's Mike and when there's Dave and when there's gosh, I cannot believe I forgot his name. This is terrible. I'm gonna apologize to him later when I find him. It's horrendous and horrid. Could I rate the Audio Technica 1 to 10? Audio Technica what? The AT2020? It's really good. It's a fantastic beginning microphone, you know? And that thing will carry you for years to go. Nobody needs a Neumann 103, the U87, even the 102. Nobody needs that day one. No one. But the AT2020 XLR, even the USB, fantastic microphone made by a reputable company who have experience and history in audio engineering and production. Absolutely good microphone. Will you need to upgrade eventually? Yes, absolutely, eventually one day. But that day when you'll need to when the marketing aspect of your home studio becomes more prominent, right? Is the day that you'll be like submitting for anime, medium scale video games, agency representation. Like before those steps, I would say the AT2020 is perfectly fine. The AT2020 at your desk inside your bedroom with no treatment, that's a different story. But the AT2020 inside a well-isolated and well-treated space, fantastic. So it's really, the microphone itself is a phenomenal piece of gear. What matters is in what space are you using it to record? That's the more important question. Do I do diaphragm breathing? If I have to. If there's a long screaming coming out, long pained scream that's coming as the father opens up the door to the universe and reaches towards the big giant eyeball in the sky, then yes, diaphragm breathing 100%. What is he talking about? I provided the English. I provided the English voice for the father in the Full Metal Alchemist live action dub on Netflix. Spoiler alert: there's a big scream towards the end. I don't want to tell you. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. That was such a fun project to work on. Thank you, thank you. Life is fun, right? This is an enjoyable and certainly happiness fulfilling line of work and energy spent. Entrepreneurship, running my business, even doing taxes is fun, and I have the giggles from the morning till night or whenever I'm done working, and it's fantastic. I should have started earlier. Best job I ever had. So 100%. 100%. Tax giggles. You know? Insanity giggles. What does it mean, 1040? Yeah. Private security, some of the standards are weird. We all come from different places. Absolutely. And the way that you come from a private security with your expertise and the things that you know, you're better suited to play that character than me. You know what I mean? Use it. Absolutely. It counts and it's valid, of course. How many auditions do I do a day? Whatever comes. Whatever comes. Like whatever comes and whatever I find, right? Again, gratitude and blessedly, I still audition for the things that come from my agents, and I audition for things that come from casting directors and directors with whom I have a relationship and rosters and things of that nature in studios. But a significant amount of the work that I do, I'm automatically cast for it as an offer. Like, here's a role. Do you accept? You know, I don't audition a lot. I immediately audition for the things that come my way that I could be a fit for. Absolutely. And I love my clients and the folks that I have a relationship with in this way. Every single one of them. I'm grateful for them every single day, as well as the clients who come back to me to offer me these jobs and roles. There's no audition process. Here you go. Okay, yeah. Let's find a space in my calendar and let's do it. Don't put a number on X number of auditions in a day, in a year, in a month. It's so arbitrary. It's arbitrary. What are you gonna do? Control your clients? Control how many opportunities you're gonna come across on a given day? Don't hold yourself to that. Do not hold yourself to that. Either you're auditioning and working, or booking and working on this thing, or you're practicing, or rehearsing, or marketing, or doing logistics and running your business and filing your taxes. Everything you do is productive. Yes, indeed, productive in moving your career forward. I'm not done yet either. Believe you and me, I was just looking at different classes from Help Network. It's awesome. Do what comes. When I hear your voice in Genshin Impact, my boo goes up and like, is that June Yoon? Oh my gosh, Kai, that's too kind. Thank you very much. 마음이 너무 따뜻해. Thank you, thank you. Warms my heart. Would you recommend expanding into different experiences that might be profitable themselves or be experiencing about for experiences? Working with absolutely. Not only John, not only like expanding into other life areas to become a better actor, to sample that walk of life for this one character that may come up in the future is a great idea. But while you're doing it, make content. Maybe here's a weird conjecture. right? Maybe, John, maybe you're not a chess player. It's random. Maybe you're not a chess player, right? And maybe like you're interested in exploring into chess. Um, get out your phone, point it at your face, and talk, and show us and take us through your journey of becoming a proficient, maybe even competitive chess player. Content number one for getting yourself out there. There's your one method. And 2.5 years from now, when that one anime about chess, becomes available, who's gonna be better fitted for that than you? You know? I know it's random, and there's no way you can predict the future. So, like, you can't just randomly choose and become an expert on chess, I guess. But if there was an interest in scuba diving, because you're interested in scuba diving, and you took us along with you, took your phone and created content, whether it be audiobook, whether it be a podcast or a written blog or series of videos on TikTok, I don't know. Make content. And maybe, who knows, maybe 7 years from now in that one video game, you'll need to be very knowledgeable about scuba diving gear because you are a scuba diving rental shop person and you can naturally sound like you know what you're talking about. I don't know. The security thing, same thing. There's no way I could play a convincing security guard. I've never been one. You have. You know what I mean? I don't know how to do radio chatter. You do. Do I market through email or LinkedIn? I do. Like I'll send periodic emails about like I got a new demo, I got a new website. There's major changes and upgrades to what I'm doing, X, Y, and Z things. So I do keep my clients informed, certainly. But like cold emails, I don't really do. Cold messages on LinkedIn, I don't do. It doesn't bring me joy. How does that go? It doesn't bring me joy, or it doesn't fill my joy, or whatever that lady says, right? It doesn't provide me with happiness. And why would I continue to do things that I don't want to do? You know what I mean? So my method of marketing is social media, content creation, and it's reaching enough people, as you can see. you know, you could via a security personnel. Imagine nothing happened for years and instant activity, more years of nothing in your set. Oh, well, if it's that easy, then I'm sure it's not. And there are things and manner of speech and behaviors and responses that you're just innately more aware of than that I don't, you know? Live life, make content while doing it. 100%. 4 a.m. Ugh, Mark, please go to bed. It's so late. It's my pleasure. Have a good night. Please go to bed. Get some sleep. Lots of rest. My goodness. The European folks. Oh man. Yeah, and Twitch is a great example of me making content. I'm there 3 times a week as best I can, and I'm simply, John, I'm simply playing the video game that I love to play and talking about voice acting as I love to do and engaging with the community as I love to do. And then I take the video and chop it into pieces and I post on every day. If you follow me on other social media, you've seen those videos, C6 Impact clips. It's what I do for marketing. In addition to other things, of course, but yeah. And every stream is AMA. Come ask me questions. I'm always available. Whether that be a Twitter DM, Discord DM, come ask me in the Twitch stream. I'm always available because I want to help. I want to bring awareness and hope that I can do my very best to steer those people away from paying the $5,000 for this 6-week class with a demo at the end. Ugh. Bring all the questions. Absolutely. Did you have hesitations about setting out in the VO industry? Yeah. Like just like anybody else, the first few steps are always like vague and uncertain and unclear. You know what I mean? But I'm the type of person who looks up things. I've been a part of enough forums. Do you remember forums? Is anybody here old enough to know what forums are? Um, like, look, you still use forums. If you the newbies will come in and they'll start asking questions, right? And everybody's like, dude, search. The hell's wrong with you? Search, right? Same thing. I come with that experience, and I know what being online is like, and what living in a society full of information is like. So, I have hesitations, yes, but they were quickly resolved by researching and searching and looking up information. you know, there's always an answer out there. You're not the first to have that question. I promise. There's an answer out there. Um, What genre of voiceover do you think gets more attention, pays the best? Commercial. Commercial. Maybe not. Maybe the most attention is character, because video games, animation. Most attention is character. Pays the best? Commercial, because it's the companies, Fortune 500 companies that are making these commercials. There you go. Oh yeah, gosh! If you spend thousands of bucks for a 6-week course with a demo at the end, I will come to your house and kick you in the face. That's what I'll do. Don't do it. 20 minutes? You got it. We Google something, the forums are what pops up. What's the more reasonable ballpark for a professional demo? Are we talking about dollar amount, cost? My pleasure. Employment education for years. Dollar figure. Gotcha. A professional character demo, let's say, John. Professional character demo can be had for under 1,000. It was 600-700, maybe even 5. Depends on who does it. Sure. And there's a lot of places that'll offer professional writing, professional direction, and professional audio quality to really make you sound good, and bring and highlight and elevate the best parts of you for under 1,000. Absolutely. Don't let anyone talk you into paying anything above 1,000 for a character demo, please. Unless you're in the union, you're represented by Atlas or whatever, and you're auditioning actively for companies like Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks, Nickelodeon, Activision, Naughty Dog, Blizzard. Then, John, everybody here, then you will want a demo that sounds like you paid good money for. For example, my current character demo that I'm using, that's on my website, was multiple thousands. but it's amazing. The process of production, the care and the time and the love that went into that minute 30 of my demo is insurmountably loved by everyone who worked on it, from the writing to the directing to the audio. Myself, research and practice and rehearsal, time and hour and blood, sweat, and tears were spent on that demo for multiple thousands of dollars, and I'm insanely proud to put it in front of people, and insanely proud to put it in my agent's hands so that they can also proudly send my demo to places. Yeah. How do you make voice acting samples? Make MP3s, tiny little 5, 7, 10, 15-second moments of you acting, and put it into MP3s and put it in a SoundCloud playlist, and put the playlist on your card website. Done. And label them, Thomas on a first date Thomas waiting 20 minutes at the 7-Eleven for your turn to buy the Slim Jim. Thomas as a warrior swinging this sword to decapitate the captain of the enemy team. Tiny little 5, 10, 15-second MP3s and a playlist of them, if you will. Same thing. Go to my Twitch channel. Listen to, check out the professional impact video where I talk about character demo for beginning actors. In that video, I talk about making samples, not a demo. Reference that. The biggest pet peeve: somebody reaching out to you asking you to audition voice over a project. Mine's when they don't have the details. Yeah. Like Kai, the people who you will want to work with will have their stuff together, and you can generally tell, right? Hey Kai, we have this thing, and we want to bring you into the Discord, and and you get there, and you're like, okay, can I see the script? We're still working on it, or whatever. Yeah. The client folks not being ready to hire voice actors and stuff like that, right? So same thing here as well. Do you recommend getting into classes first or talking to a coach and seeing when your baseline is? Both, either, whichever you feel is more comfortable. In the beginning phases, I think more comfortable, because some people don't do very well in a public setting. There are so many people here, and I'm gonna act, and everybody's gonna be looking at me, even though it's Zoom. Right? For those folks, maybe starting off in a one-on-one fashion might be more comfortable. But for folks who don't have that problem, group, it's certainly cheaper, and you get to act with other people. You get to watch them do it as well. There's a lot of value in observation, as we previously discussed, right? So both are right answers. It's just which one would you like to do? Or which one would you feel more comfortable in? Start there, I would say. Shelf life of a demo? In the beginning, John, you shouldn't outgrow your demo in a year. Like, admittedly, in the beginning, you're going to become a better actor quicker, right? As you pick up these skills and enjoy it more and more, have more fun, get more roles, you're going to grow faster in the beginning. So the $500 that you spent on this demo that you outgrew in 3 months is wasted money, if you will. But if you feel like you're at a point in your characterization, acting capability, where the growth of you as an actor slows down a little bit, where putting down a demo, because a demo is a mile marker. It's a milestone mile marker in your journey, and for that demo to be relevant 11 months in afterwards is kind of where you want to be, I think. Like my current demo that I had produced in July, that I recorded for it in February. It took a long time. Again, a lot of time and energy and love went into this. It's gonna serve me, I'm sure, for the next 3-4 years now. You know? But this is precisely the reason why I want everybody to have samples in the beginning, in a playlist, so that you can delete the tiny little sample that doesn't reflect your current abilities and replace it with something that is. And if you have control of the playlist of samples in your hands, then you can make it whatever you want it to be, right? And if the 7, 5, 10 samples that you have on your playlist is all currently reflective, or at least most recently reflective of your current ability, then that's a better representation of you as a professional than a demo from 2 years ago when you were a terrible actor. You know what I mean? It should last at least a year, in my opinion. And I don't have the cornerstone knowledge and authority in that 1 year timeline figure. It's my opinion. But if you're gonna spend $1,000, $500, it should last the what it's worth. You know what I mean? And if that means because you have financial security and the luxury to have a demo every 6 months and you can afford it in your budget, fantastic, great. But I would prefer at least a year. Yeah. Who would you consider a professional voice actor? A person, a voice actor, Kai, who on a practical level shows up on time, ready, and does the work well, and gets along. Is not a jerk, not a prima donna either. Is humble. Is fun to work with, and that I would want to hire again. Actually, who said it? Was it Rob Paulson? I think it was Rob Paulson. Somebody. I heard it from somebody. You want to be a voice actor that people are happy to see you walk in through the door, not the voice actor that they're happy to see walk out the door. You know what I mean? Be a good person, be a professional, get along, have fun, laugh. Don't be a racist. Don't be a sexist. Don't be misogynist. These things, obviously, right? But actor who is also doing this out of happiness, because if it's happiness, then you're gonna want to do better. You're gonna naturally want to progress better, right? And walk the path. And as a result, you're gonna meet people, make relationships, build them, meet clients, do the work, X, Y, and Z things. And as you regularly book these things that you do, whatever it may be, you'll become more and more known for this thing that you're doing. Professional voice actor, there you go. But if you're a phenomenally talented actor who shows up 20 minutes late, is not prepared, not hydrated at all, and is a pain to work with throughout the entire session, then I don't care how famous you are. You're not a professional voice actor. You know? Yeah, the plateau. Thank you, Thomas. Could you mix together a demo in your first year just from samples? Yeah, you could. You could. I would hire if you have audio engineering, mixing knowledge and skill, then yeah, you could. Otherwise, if they're currently reflective of your current abilities, Eka, hire a voice audio engineer and have that person mix it together for you. Done. You know? Yeah, totally. You got hired for that thing, right? Hopefully, whichever project, whoever client was working with your audio also hired an audio engineer to make it sound good. And if it's already mixed well into the production and it made it into the final cut and it's available, then yeah, like what better way to present what you're capable of than to show people what you've done, right? Visual reels, same thing. Hikaru. It's a lovely quote that says and explains a lot, but it's I am not the origin. Was it Rob? I think I heard Rob Paulson say it. I was in a workshop with him many years ago, or was it somebody else? I don't. I'm an old man, you see. There's horror stories about people showing up, making demands and not even apologizing for being late or whatever. Apparently there are people like that. I don't understand, but there you go. Improv, yes. So my brain just doesn't work that way. I have advice. Take my improv class, Slim J. I teach improv through closing credits. So as an offer, do you have to? No, of course not. But it's available to you. There you go. Option number 1. But yeah, improv is super helpful. Like from a practical standpoint, I can't count the number of sessions in which I've been to where the script hasn't been changed on the spot. Like we'll do a line and we'll go, well, let's change it to this. And then it's about cold reading and improvisation capacity. um, so there's a practical reason to develop one's improvisation capabilities. There's one, but as I often talk about, Slim J, life is improv, right? You as I don't know you, right? But as far as I know, you or no one here wakes up in the morning with a script next to their bed that tells them what to say throughout the whole day, right? Life is improv. As we respond, you do. Okay, well, John is the exception. Get out. Um, we live life with improv as we just live life as who we are, and isn't acting character these stories that we tell in these video games and other mediums stories of life, right? It's the same thing. So there's a direct core. In fact, here, Slim J, go to my YouTube channel, .com/June Yoon _ go to my YouTube channel and take a look at the education playlist. Um, there's a video in which I talk about improv and voice acting, the correlation and why it's important. Um, I think there's a podcast episode of that as well, if you prefer that better, whichever one you want to do. But improv is super helpful, and I talk about why, and if you want to know how, then yeah, closing credits for sure. But TLDR, it's about responses and behaviors of human. That's what characterization is. It's what acting is. How would you behave and respond in this fictitious circumstance? I'm sure you've heard it by now in some way. Acting is about being yourself, bringing a genuine, believable, authentic character inside a fictitious story. And improv is exactly that. Here's a fictitious scenario. Be yourself and respond like a normal human being. Done. you know? But there are ways to optimize your and strategize and optimize your behavior and your responses, and training your improv in this way makes it more accessible, like knee jerk, instinctually accessible. Those choices. That's where really acting. That's where improv really assists in your acting, informs your acting in that way, because your initial instinctual choices are already geared in a more productive, more character-driven way. If that makes sense. Yeah, it feels better because you're improvising as John, right? You're doing the things that you would. Of course, it feels better and natural because you're being yourself. These words in a script you did not write. None of us wrote these scripts. Somebody else did. These are not our words. But when we find those moments in between where we do improv in between these words and phrases and sentences, we find ourselves. And that's resonating clearly because that's just us. And that's what improv is, you know? Learning to be witty, I would disagree, Hikaru. Um, it's learning to be responsive in a witty way that's appropriate to the circumstance. Uh, the people that are trying to be funny for the sake of being funny are not funny, or witty for that matter. So there's a difference. At least I feel like, Boom, 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 boom. People are posting duets. Yay! I'm so happy. Make content. The pang when you've handed in your takes and someone cuts them in a manner that sort of lines. No, no. Um, like, I don't have I do have a stake in what goes into the final cut, because that's what everybody else will hear, right? So I do have a stake in that, certainly. Um, but when ideally everyone should, certainly ideally every take you give should be good, right? So that you're proud to put it in a public space and feel good about it, no matter what they do with it. It's gonna take time and energy and honing of the skills and characterization, da 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 da, to get to a certain point where every take that you put down is something you can stand behind. But if it's not, because we're human beings, you can still express to the director, I didn't like that. Can we do it? This can I have a different idea. What do you think about this or whatever? You know, um, and whatever they do in the editing room, I have no control of. But as long as I walk out of that session feeling good about all the takes that I've given, then I have no problems with it. A really good example of this actually is Space Punks. Man, that was a fun session. In this video game called Space Punks, I play this NPC called KI-42, and I discovered couple of days ago, few days ago, I played it for the first time, and they had pitched down my voice and made it more robotic and whatever it is, which is necessary. The KI-42 is a robot character. But I have no control about how they manipulate my voice. But I know that every take that's in that game is good because I gave them and I feel good about it. So it's okay, you know? Longest session, like 7 hours. It was a whole day. We took breaks throughout. But yeah, you take breaks, water, lunch, all these things to make sure you can last the stamina. But man, I showed up at my high school at 7:15 in the morning and taught the entire day of these super energetic, high active theater classes. And then I would go into rehearsal mode and rehearse and direct and produce and until like 10 p.m. in some nights. Believe you and me, I have the stamina. The take I can stand behind, the issue I have releases have the same pieces of me. Yeah, what are you gonna do, John? March in there and grab the audio engineer by their ears and tell him to fix it, please. You know. Do and worry about the things that are in your control. What are you gonna change the weather? Right? Come on. Sunny skies, please. A little bit of rain in the morning would be nice. You got this from AliExpress. Well, it's here 3 weeks later, and I don't know how I feel about that, you know? How much water to drink? So this glass jar, I don't have a camera. So here's a weird story. I love jars. Like, is that weird? I love jars, glass containers. Something's really cool about glass containers. So we save these jars for like fat storage, bacon fat, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Mason jars are really cool. I agree, in my opinion. And I have this jar that I use as a water cup that used to be a spaghetti sauce jar. So I don't know the exact liquid volume of this jar, but I love this jar. Is that weird to say? I love this jar, and it's about as big as my hand. Oh, here I'm drinking a vitamin water right now. This is 20 fluid ounce. So maybe like 20 to 25 fluid ounce jar, I guess, something like that. It wasn't ragu though. Anyway, for something, it's about the size of that jar. You can all picture it. It's about that big. I go through, gosh, like let me. It's never empty. Let me put it that way. It's never empty. Um, little sips throughout the day. Little sips throughout the day. And I'm never not drinking, if you will. Like chugging water 15 minutes before the session does not hydrate your body. It takes hour plus of time for the water to infuse into your cells, you know? So the very first thing in the morning that I do is coffee, because I need to wake up and I'm an old man. But when the coffee is gone, it's immediately to water. Tiny little sips throughout the entire day. As a result, my hair is fine, my skin is fine, nails are fine, and I'm hydrated. I have less mouth noise. Today's Sunday, so I didn't drink a lot of water. I should. You know, throughout the day, constantly hydrating, constantly peeing, constantly, of course. But that's the job. Imagine being stuck on the 405 freeway, having to go pee. Ugh. It's terrible. I've used my share of gas station bathrooms, believe you and me, up and down the freeway. Oh god, traffic here in Los Angeles area is ugh ugh. Sean Chiplock is right. From like 2 p.m. until 8 p.m. and then some. There is just insufferable, consistent, mind-numbing traffic. My goodness. Depends on the studio. Like some of the far away ones, like I budget 2 hours because of traffic. Some other studios are half hour away. My home studio is 3 steps from my desk, which is great. But it depends on the time of day. I had to go for a callback session at this one studio at 8:30 p.m. No traffic there. I have a session tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm leaving at 7 a.m. Yes, I am. It's how many hours per mile? It's so true. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'll listen to the radio, NPR. I'll listen. I'll talk. I'll repeat after them. I'll sing. But generally keep myself entertained. Drink coffee and awake as well. We don't want a car accident, obviously. But I'll warm up in the car. Yeah. Thank you. I will. A lot. I mean, whatever it is that you're doing, you're loosening up the mouth muscles, the face muscles, the jaw muscles, right? And moving air in some way. So, yeah. The warm up is more physical than it's not singing, it's not voiceover warm up, it's warm up of the muscles to get the kinks out. You know what I mean? It's more physical. So whatever it might be, singing, rapping, voice acting, speaking, narrating, it's all same thing. For singing, absolutely, or yoga classes, my gosh, yoga, no, I've never thought of making that connection, but I know taking yoga classes will certainly put more self-awareness of your body inside of you. To know exactly what your limbs are doing in what position and things of that nature, your balance, stuff like that. So it's helpful, I would say, because voice acting is very physical as well, you know. But for singing, no, I haven't taken any singing lessons. Except the mandatory music classes in Korea. Other than that, I haven't taken any singing lessons. Nope. But it can help. It can definitely help. Ryan Cole Levy is a great example. He's a singer, and I interviewed him. You can find this on my YouTube channel if it's still there. I'm not sure. I interviewed him for a podcast I used to run, and he, as I recall correctly, if I'm recalling correctly, he hears lines as a melody, you know. And if you're musically trained, then melodic progression, chords, and things of that nature makes sense. It's one way to think. Was it him? Gosh, maybe it was somebody else. I don't remember exactly. It was years ago. But knowing music, whether it be solfege, or standard progression of A B C D E F G, you could hear things in melodies. Maybe that's how your brain works. I don't know, but it could help. Didn't have criticism for performances. They just recommend I guess singing coach and they will open up a range because the voice is higher than most guys. Yeah, I mean, where did I hear this? I heard this advice about vocal, like pitch, terms of pitch, vocal range, right? That everybody is born with a physical hard limit of this key to this key, like hard limits, physical limitations from this key to this key, and your mental and trained and muscular physiological limit is from this key to this key inside of the hard limits. And the vocal training that you do to quote unquote expand your range is to be able to hit the physical limitations of the pitch that you can create comfortably. So does it help? Yes, it does. To be able to go super high frequency in that key and to a super low frequency in your range, certainly. But it's not about high and low in voice acting. It's not about how high you can go and how low you can go in voice acting. It's about the natural expression of your human, of your character. And when we get excited and happy and gleeful, we naturally go high, don't we? But you're not measuring how high I can go. You know what I mean? I don't worry about range of my voice. The range of my voice is the range of my voice. Unless I need it for professional reasons because I'm a professional singer and I need to be able to hit this one note in this concert that I'm in. That's a different story. But for us, we are who we are. It's nice to have a bigger range, I guess, but it's not a crucial make or break element of a voice actor's tool items in the tool belt. But I will say, having a higher voice, generally higher pitch of voice than other guys is a good thing. Oh gosh, Slim J, dude, if I could only have what Bryce Papenbrook has, that natural shonen young boy, like teenage 20s voice. Oh gosh, what I wouldn't give to have it. All the main characters. Are you kidding? The envy of not having the voice of others. Same. Same. Yeah, I could never do a low. Exactly the same exact thing. The grass, the VO grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. It's terrible. Breath control, yeah, that helps. If you can have use your breath in an efficient manner to breathe out these long string sentences, but then there's no unless it's specifically requested, John. There is no specific request or requirement that says you need to be able to say number of words in one breath. You know what I mean? If the scene calls for it, if the character calls for it in that moment, it could be helpful to have, sure. But gosh, I've been singing for years in a choir. Just recently got into the idea of voice acting. Is it too late to try? Emma, unless you're 75, no, it is not too late to try. I got into this whole thing when I was 36. I'm 42 now, Emma. It's not too late to try. Guaranteed. Ladies go crazy for a deep voice. If you're in voice acting to pick up ladies, you're in it for a wrong reason, my friend. What I wouldn't give to be a permanent teenager in a voice type. Oh, Daniel, let's swap. Everybody switch with me. It's nice to have a specificity in your niche, right? Like the natural Korean accent that I have is a specific niche of my organic authenticity. And if you're Midwestern, general American, generic voice that sounds like every other person on in this country, then there's a role for that. There's a place for that. Number one, and two, maybe you should look into making your speech, your person, your tendencies, and your behaviors a bit more specific in the areas in which you are authentic in these XYZ things. What's a good starter equipment and tool for voice acting? A fantastic recording space with a fantastic XLR setup that's budget friendly, continued presence and honing of the craft in acting and characterization, and paired up with excellent entrepreneurship and marketing ability. What? Yeah. A good booth, starter equipment, a walk-in closet, if ideally a walk-in closet that's filled with clothes, with an Audio Technica AT2020 XLR paired with a Volt 1 interface and Audacity. Hello, I'm a deep voicemail who can play Chainsmokers. Now come and scratch my back. Wouldn't that be awesome? I agree. Gosh. Make a Discord server and just push this button, react to this person, and all of a sudden have their voice for a day. Gosh, so fun. Commercial? God, do commercials. It's great. It's excellent money. It's good acting too. Yeah, make panels. If you enjoy woodworking, if you enjoy woodworking, then you'll love it. Absolutely, it's fun. Yeah, AT2020 paired with a Volt, with Euphoria UMC2, with Focusrite Scarlett Solo, with Go XLR, with Zoom H6. Yeah, all of that. My father used to come scratch my back. And you scratch his back. I'm a little kid. You never had your back scratched? Have somebody scratch your back. And then rub it all in. It's the best. My wife used to do it for me, not so much anymore. She's too old and too tired. Yeah, right away, sir. How do you get into commercials? P2Ps and agents. P2Ps and agents. Yep. Sorry, pay to play. P2P. Voices.com, Voice123, Bodalgo, VioPlanet, so on and so forth. P2Ps. It is, to be honest, my biggest is working with individuals and going to these projects. They're nice. It's John knows. I get specifically work safety with my big issues is that I get specifically work safety with individuals who only seem to want one very specific performance for each project. I mean, if you're filling their need, right? If you're addressing their pain point of not having a good voice for this one thing, then you're fine. And you're fine. Like, gosh, if I'm in the marketing department for this American thing, then you would be, along with so many others, right? You would be folks who can produce what I need would be what I want, not some Korean accented voice person. No, right? It's what niche do I fill? Korean dads, Korean dads, or dads in general. I have here. I want something. I have something I want to show you. This right, this right here. You don't have to click it, but that print that you see there are my characters, my NPC characters in Genshin Impact, and all of them are dads. Well, not Vahid. The person behind the counter is not a dad, I think. But from Satoru to to Kujou to oh my gosh, to Kujou Takayuki, to Yo, 1, 2, and 3, top to bottom. These three gentlemen who are lamenting about their kids are all dads. and I had this print commissioned by with Charles, a phenomenal artist. He's amazing. Loved it. So let's do it. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Never played Genshin, John. Blasphemous. Go download it now. Play it. My pleasure. Good to have you. Have a good evening. What a fun game, this game. I love this game so much. As if that wasn't apparent by now, you know? Coffee candy. My gosh. Anything coffee flavored, I'll eat. Like coffee flan I had at one point. It was phenomenal. Coffee flavored flan. Coffee candy, hard candy, coffee flavored desserts and souffles and stuff. So good. My goodness. Look, Eka, pineapple on pizza is great. It's great, precisely because pepperoni is just salty, savory thing, right? And pineapple, when you cook it, it becomes sweet, and it balances it out. You know. Have a good night, Raina. Good to have you. And if you want to put like octopus on pizza, you go ahead and do that. Live your happiness. It doesn't matter what other people think. Eat what's delicious and live your happiness. Done, done, done. Flan. Flan. There's this podcast that I listen to with my kids in the car called the Family Road Trip Podcast. And this other co-host lady who is clearly in some Midwestern state has this indescribably humorous and distinct Midwestern accent where she says things like flan. I can't replicate it exactly, but I love it. I love accents. It's so fun. Have I voiced an English dub of Attorney Wu? Yes, I'm in that show. Peppered throughout the entire thing. But the most prominent one, if you watched, is the episode about the tree in Sodokdong. And they show up in this lovely thing. They show up for the second time. It's all rainy, right? That episode. I'm the town mayor of that episode. Yeah. What an amazing show that is too, right? What a fantastic, groundbreaking, phenomenally good show. Look, if you have everybody here, if you have Netflix, right, please go watch Extraordinary Attorney Woo. So amazingly good. So amazingly good. Oh gosh. Snake on a pizza. Nice. I love it. What could a beginner do to build a resume other than posting content? Attend classes. The classes that you take, the coach that you connect with are some things you can put on a resume. Your current educational journey, right? Improve your recording chain, your studio, your equipment, things of that nature. Improve your website. Most likely, whoever is interested in hiring you is going to be at your website than looking at your resume. So your website is more important. And post content. It's equally important, if not more important. Post content. But building up a resume means auditioning for things and booking roles. So continue to audition. Make your audition sound amazing, audio quality wise, as well as acting. And have patience. Be consistent. All the things. Do the thing. Do the thing. Favorite voice acting role so far, Emma. Even then, to this day, like Brawlhalla is still my favorite. Where this AAA entity decided that their 50th legend in this massive game, the 50th legend is gonna be this Korean guy, and they sought me out. I didn't audition for that. They sought me out. They contacted me. We found you. You're amazing. We have this Korean character. Please do this thing for us. Of course, I said yes. But to be in that trailer, to voice that character, I did it in English and Korean, mixed in both, English and Korean, and to like represent the culture, the character, and have resonances that ring inside of me as who I am. And be in this representative AAA playing field, it's definitely one of the biggest things in my career. Absolutely, one of many. I have many favorites. One of many favorites, I would say. Do I process my voice for commercial auditions? No, not at all. I do for processing for auditions, whatever it is, Thomas. I do very little processing, very little. And literally, it's mouth declick, because sometimes I'm more mouth clicky than others because I'm a human being. So it's mouth declick and normalize. There's no compression. There's no EQ. I mean, slight bit of EQ, and it's built into my audio chain, so it's already recording. It's already input in place as I record. But very, very minimal. Like what you hear is who I am, minimal. Like, no, if you're not a well-trained audio engineer, you'll never hear the difference, minimal. And I can do that because the environment in which I record is well dialed in. It's a Studio Bricks with extra dampening power. My recording chain is Apollo Twin and a Neumann U87. And I use the 416 for commercials, obviously. And I'm just simply being myself with minimal, and I do mean tiny, tiny minimal processing. And that's just mouth declick, slight tiny EQ, and normalization to whatever I want it to be. Fanta or Coke? Fanta. Always. Coke or Pepsi? Coke. With milk. With milk. Yeah. 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 For auditions, yes. For auditions, yes. But I also know how to adjust my gain properly. So when I'm normalizing, John, the audio form moves like this much. I know how to work my equipment. So when I normalize, the audio form moves this much. What should a good portfolio include? Name, contact info at the very top. right? Name and contact info so they can get a hold of you, and your recording, your studio specs and work history, and if room available, training history. Yeah, Coke with milk. You've never tried it? Hi, Nick. Everybody. This is a self-discovery, self-awareness exercise. Go, get milk, get Coke or Pepsi, mix it together, and drink. Do it now or do it later tonight. Promise me that you'll do it tonight. Thomas, on you have a USB microphone on an interface. On all interfaces, there is a gain knob that increases and decreases the energy fed into the microphone. Gain. YouTube, a search on YouTube. How to say your gain. How to set your gain. YouTube search and watch videos. No, Emma, do it. Coke and milk and drink. Do it. So you want to be a thumb to pinky from the microphone, right? Properly addressing the microphone and the distance, and you're controlling your projection level for whatever you need it to be, and adjust the gain until the peaks of your audio, the very, very top peaks of your audio are hitting -6. That's a place to start from. That's a baseline. But you need to be able to monitor your own audio as you record. Peak. Yeah, not average, peak. The tallest tippy point should be hitting -6. A little bit above, a little bit below, fine, but control your projection, John. What do you mean you have issues with that? You have a body, you know how to use it. Is everybody, look, get your interface in your booth. If you have to go constantly in and out of your booth to adjust your gain, you're not gonna want to do it. Get the my gosh, hang on. Where is that article? I wrote an article about this. I told you I'm here for information. I want to help. Activity articles. And copy link and paste. Go read that. Everybody read that. Or save it and read it later, Get the monitor and peripherals and especially your interface in there, so that adjusting levels gain is something you don't have to think about. If a chore, if a task is I have to go do this thing, you're not gonna do it. It's gonna get in your way. Make the process streamlined. My gosh, why would you not do that? Holy moly. Okay. All right, I'm gonna last call for questions. I gotta go. Do I use LEMs or headphones for recording? I am okay. If I'm recording, I don't use headphones. If I'm recording, I don't use headphones in the booth. In fact, I don't use headphones very much at all, because I'm one of those people. Maybe you're not. You tell me. You are who you are. I am one of those people that I cannot hear myself as I act, as I perform, because my brain is constantly like, okay, I'm listening to myself and I'm judging and I'm assessing as I do it, and it takes me out of the moment, out of character. So I don't do it. But for ADR, I have it on so that I can hear the director and the other things that are happening, the M&E in the scene. Sure. Even then, I bring my own headphone, which is a single-sided single-sided Bayer Dynamic single-sided headphone. Despise cans so much. Need a new monitor. Else, yeah, LED monitors. They're super quiet nowadays and super light. Absolutely. Yeah, I just don't do it for auditions. I don't need to listen to myself. You know what I mean? I can listen to myself while I'm editing, but if I'm acting in the moment, I don't need to listen to myself. I know what I sound like. You know, if I'm in a session, I need to be able to hear the director, so I have a headphone on. But even then, it's just only one ear. For remote sessions and in-person sessions, I bring my own headphones. Does the voice acting pay? Yes. Style points. Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific. Always there. And it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. It gets chaotic sometimes, but it's fun. Dad jokes abound. Yeah, good. Last call for questions. My pleasure. Yeah, stop by. Bring your questions. Absolutely. The improv class, it's a lot of fun. I'm so focused on fun because it allows us to tap into who we are and allow us to express our joys and enthusiasms about this thing that we're doing. And that's the best kind of audition, best kind of acting there is. My pleasure, Emma. It's good to have you. Excellent. You too. Thank you, Eka, for having me. Huge thanks to Phoebe for having me. My Twitter, right? I'm back on Facebook. I'm I don't want to be, but I'm back on Facebook because Twitter's on fire. Uh, I would personally appreciate it if you have Facebook. You don't have to. I'm trying to populate my page with more people. Please come follow me on Facebook and other places. Have a good evening, everybody. Have a good day, good morning, good rest of your day. And should you have any questions about any of this, feel free to reach out. Twitter DMs. I'm on stream. I'm pretty accessible. You know what I mean. So please reach out. Don't feel worried. What about da, 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 da? No, reach out and ask. I'm here to help. My pleasure. Good evening, good night, good day to all. And I'll see you folks around. Bye.